Welcome to the Massacre Matinee.
All right, so we had our McDonald's.
Yep. Is this the intro?
This is the intro. I needed lunch today. I was
Yeah.
a hungry bitch. I wanted a burger. Welcome back, Kate.
Welcome back.
What case are we doing today?
Lonnie's case.
Who shot Lonnie? So, we have a Facebook page now
We do.
to go along with our Instagram page that was
Yes.
created but did nothing.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Out of sight, out of mind.
It happens. It happens. But I'm on top of things a little bit better. We do have a Facebook page and an Instagram page. Both of them can be found by searching The Massacre Matinee
Mm-hmm.
on either of them. They've got our standard logo, so it should be easy to find. Feel free to follow us on there because it'll give you a preview of what's coming up.
Yeah.
So at noon today.
And then whatever weird stuff we do while recording.
Yeah.
Or some
Behind
weird
the
pictures.
scenes photos and shit. It's going to be fun.
Like, I don't know if anyone noticed, the picture for the hunting episode was my deer stand.
It was. That was an Easter egg. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. Cat's out of the bag, I guess.
Well, I mean, no one's gonna. Actually, that one did stand out a lot just because I'm like, oh, wait, there's no weird lettering.
It didn't. Well, don't say the lettering's weird. I
It's
like it.
fine. No, it's good, but like the kids from last
Their hands were so fucked. You know what I searched for that one? 1980s playground.
fucking Jeffrey Dahmer in the background, or John Wayne Gacy in the
Well,
background.
hey, it had some 1980s aesthetic. I'll give it credit for that. The
Yeah,
AI just doesn't understand.
it had the real lead poisoning vibes.
Yeah, well, the AI just doesn't understand how hands work. That's all.
No, they really
So-
don't. So, this is another one of my episodes that I researched a hell of a long time ago, and before I was like, I'm gonna do like good research.
This was researched when the podcast idea was still
think-
just an idea.
I think this was gonna be like one of like the first 3 episodes, and we just never did it because I'm like, oh, this one's gonna be really short.
Well, we were trying to fill them out, and now we're trying to get all these short ones done and taken care of to finish out the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said last week, we're going to be starting 2024 fresh,
Yes.
which is going to include a New Year's episode that I still have to do the research for, but that's okay.
We got time.
We got time.
Oh, I'm excited for my next case.
Yeah?
Ooh, it's a doozy.
Give us a sneak peek.
A sneak peek. Well, there is a movie done on it, and it's another like foreign case, which is
Okay.
really funny because oh god, what was his name? I think it was Joseph Fritzl that locked
Joseph Fritz.
Fritz.
Fritzl.
that kept his daughter in like the basement for like
Mhm.
how many ever years.
Mm-hmm.
Same country, because that happened in Austria.
Okay.
Still Austria. Another woman that was kept for a very long time and had horrible
Something going
things.
on with them Austrians.
Yeah, I don't know. But that one's crazy, and I hope to do it soon, because
We can.
there's a good movie on it. I have
Yeah.
yet to watch the movie, but I know that the movie, I think, had the victim with them while they were filming it.
So
So-
it's got that certification
Mhm.
of authenticity.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about Who Shot Lonnie today.
Yes.
And the wording on this one might be a little bit tricky, and things might be a little bit confusing until the end because we came up with the idea of Who Shot Lonnie for the title before I understood how her notes were written out.
Yeah.
And so that's my fault. My bad.
It's fine. It'll be, a little shocking, not shocking.
The details will shock you, is what I
Yeah.
said. So
So don't think of it as like, oh, they're gonna reveal like it's some crazy person that like did it, and it. I mean, yeah, but not. But yeah. I didn't write down last names. I apologize. You can find this episode that I took this from because this is from the series I Survived. Loved the show, real good. One of the seasons from there. I don't remember which season, but I know it was one of the later ones. Maybe season 4, I want to say.
see, the Survivor stuff seems to be your like bread and butter. Like every once in a while, you go into like super gnarly stuff, and then
I
it's
am
like, "Ooh,
either
I
the
gotta
person
calm myself
lives or
down."
they are the most gruesome fucking.
Yeah,
death.
you don't have a happy medium.
I don't. That's my cult stuff. It's not gonna be
which
happy.
will be coming eventually. I don't think it's going to be coming with the start of 2024.
No, but I'm gonna be starting the research for Jonestown very soon because honestly, I think it's gonna take me easily 2 or 3 months to get everything that I want to get because I want to do it justice. Because there's so much that happened in that it's like, oh my god, it's a touch of. You can listen to some kind of documentary and they won't even touch the tip of the iceberg of what actually happened and like the origin of like how that happened and everything like that. Synanon's another one I want to get into. Synanon. That one's crazy. There's a good Spotify series that they have where it's the daughter of one of the people that was in Synanon. And Synanon started out as like a real good thing because it was helping people kick addiction and everything to where at a point where like multiple states governors were like, this is a real good thing and started trying to adapt it into like prison systems and everything like that. And then it just kind of money got involved and then it turned into a cult. And I think that just tends to be once the money starts happening, it's a cult.
The difference between religion and cults is
a very fine line.
A very fine line, and it all has to do with money.
Yeah. And power complex.
Now that we've got our little 2024 preview out of the way.
Yeah.
Lonnie. So it can be found on... What was the show again?
I Survived.
I Survived.
Yeah, I Survived does a lot of different things where they do like animal attacks or like I think they had a couple that were some serial killers or whatnot. So it's a good balance between some real fucked up shit and then just like some animals being silly goofy. I didn't write down last names. I'm really bad at taking notes in the beginning.
You've gotten better. It just this is gonna show how much we've improved.
Yeah.
because this one and the last one were both old notes.
Yes.
And now you're trying to like mentally put yourself back in that position. You're like, wow,
I can
like
remember
that me
the
was kind of a dumb bitch. Why didn't I take better notes? Like,
right. I think these are
always
one of the
get
ones
mad
that I
when
had
look
Teddy
back
with.
on my old notes.
I think this is when I had Teddy watching with me, and he's got mad at me for pausing.
Oh,
every 5 minutes.
remember you texting me that day.
So this happened in Portland. Lonnie owned a stained glass store. I think she made like little pieces that went into like the windows and all of that. Little craft store, real cute. I don't know how they met, but her friend had bought a motor home and moved to Portland and like parked this motor home outside of Lonnie's house.
Okay.
So they were kind of close. Not really like close and like they weren't dating or any kind of thing like that. They were just friends. And he started doing some shady stuff and got a hold of some information of hers and everything like that because obviously he had access to her home. Mm-hmm. And he had went to her loan office, took out 14 credit cards in her name. 14.
How can a person even have 14 credit cards like without raising flags?
I don't know. I mean, I know some people that have a lot, but they're like, some are just like store credit cards versus like actual like Capital One or like that kind of shit.
Right.
I don't think they really cross-check. I think they're just like, oh, your credit's good? All right.
Ain't gonna be good long.
No. And then he kind of spent about $30K on, I think, on almost every card.
30,000
I don't
per
know
card?
I think it was either 30,000 per card or 30,000 in total. Either way, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Crazy amount of money. And of course, when things weren't being paid off and it's in Lonnie's name, she started getting collector's stuff. And she's like, well, I didn't fucking take these out. The only other person that has access to this information, because she lived alone rather than him living on her front lawn. So she went to confront him. And he basically just sits there and gaslights her.
Gaslights her?
Gaslights her. Yeah, I read my notes. It said lit. Okay.
You gotta get used to fixing it on the fly. You know?
Anyway,
we're getting there though.
And basically made it seem like it was her idea to have him get 14 credit cards. I don't know, like, what the fuck he was buying or spending this on. Stupid shit. You know it was stupid shit.
But you'd think there are, like, signatures and things involved in the process of
Mhm.
actually getting a credit card. So, like, wouldn't they be able to prove forgery on the signatures?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like,
When did this happen?
I am not sure, but it was not recent. I want to say,
Okay.
like, early 2000s.
I still feel like signatures would have been a thing. The internet wasn't as huge in the early 2000s as it is now. It was getting bigger, but it was still
I think
like
2006 is when it really boomed because,
Yeah.
you know, YouTube came out and all that
right.
kind of stuff.
Well, as someone that actually grew up in that time, I can tell
I was
you
5, okay?
I can tell you the internet was still a thing in the early 2000s, but
It wasn't
like
big.
you said, it didn't blow up until then. I mean, you could get yourself into some trouble on the internet. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, the black web was a lot easier to get hold of.
Literally anything was.
I mean, it was really just, like, weird video sites and then chat logs.
Well,
For the most part.
there was a shocking amount of children's educational video
I remember
game websites
using a lot of
too.
that. A lot of the typing stuff was
Yeah.
online.
Yeah. So is he like making her believe that it was all her idea, or is he
Yeah.
like
So he's basically like, well, you allowed it. You told me that I could do this. You know, I was tight on money. Like,
and she didn't like no I didn't, or
oh yeah, like she started fighting back, and like they got into a huge argument, and then he just kind of got all frustrated, and he disappeared outside into his motorhome for about like 10 minutes.
was it strictly a verbal argument, or were there
It was a verbal argument.
Okay.
At this point, it was a verbal argument. And at some point, he came back in, and she was just in her living room trying to figure this stuff out, sitting on her couch, like trying to go through all these like letters that she got about like all the collections and all that kind of stuff. And he comes up behind her and like basically puts enough pressure on her neck that she passes out.
Vulcan grip?
And she wakes up on the floor, and he's just like, oh, you passed out. You weren't feeling well. Like, are you okay? And like tries to play it off that
I
he
bet
like
you any-
literally didn't. Like,
I
he just
bet you
choked her out.
anything he was trying to like strangle her to death, and he as soon as she passed out, he's like, oh, she's dead, and then she woke up and he's like,
No,
oh my
you're
god, like she's
fine."
alive, like
And then at that point, she's like, you're fucking crazy, and
Mhm.
she tries to get out and leave. And as soon as like, her back is to him, and she's trying to get out the door,
Mhm.
and he shoots her in the head.
oh.
And then he shoots her again. So twice in the head already.
Twice in the head, and
Yes.
she survived.
And she's still alive. She said that she could hear the shots. Like, she heard and felt the pressure, but she didn't feel pain at that point.
Shock would have been a big part of it. The other part of it would have also been, you know, if they were, I mean, not if they were,
Mhm.
they were headshots.
Yes.
And all things considered, your brain itself doesn't actually have any nerves. It's just all surface level
Mhm.
that you feel everything, which is kind of cool and kind of creepy at the same
Oh,
time.
yeah,
If you've
it's-
ever watched videos online of like,
Dude,
They'll-
brain surgery is fucking crazy.
they've done ones where they've made like a concert violinist play his violin while they were doing the brain surgery,
Mhm.
just to make sure that they didn't fuck with his skill.
Yeah. So she thought she died, and like that she was just kind of living things in a blur, and like kind of had like that third body,
Out of
out-of-body experience. Like, she was also just worried about seeing her father again and everything like that. Because he had died earlier, so she was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna see him. If I see him, then I know I'm dead. Like, that kind of thing.
The fact that she's thinking all of these things, though, should kind of like, I would imagine, hinder a little bit. Like,
Right, but I think she was a really religious woman, so she
oh,
just
okay,
probably like.
okay. This is no offense in any way.
No, because I feel like
to
when you're more religious, you have a
people.
little bit more okayness with death and like thinking, okay, well, this
Right.
is how it's playing off. This is
Or
how
just
I'm
any
just waiting for
concept-
something to come get me to
Right.
bring me up to like, you know, like you have.
I feel like any concept of the afterlife in general is kind of if you believe in an afterlife, even if you don't believe in a religion specifically, I feel like if you believe that there is a form of afterlife, then in a way you are religious.
Yeah. Or at least spiritual in the
Or
way.
spiritual, that's a better way to put it. And the belief that sentience can exist after death is, I guess, something I struggle with.
I think, personally, I believe that it is the same thing as before you were born. Like, you don't remember anything before you were born.
See, here's the
so
problem
that's
with that. I don't remember much before I was 10.
I mean, same. So.
So
like,
Lonnie
you know,
got
it's just
shot twice in the head.
Yeah.
She's looking for dad because she's like, fuck, I'm dead. If I see
Right.
dad, I'm dead. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to side rail us.
Oh, you're fine. So at some point she comes to the realization that, like, oh shit, she's still fucking alive, you know. So she's like, I'm gonna play dead so he doesn't shoot me again and doesn't realize, hey, I'm still alive.
Incidentally enough, when I was younger, I always figured if somebody like punched me in the face, that's what I was gonna do, was just lay there and just
At this point she didn't realize that she was shot in the head.
Right. Well, I mean, if
she just kind of heard the noise and then she dropped. Like, that's so she didn't think that she was
okay.
She didn't really know how hurt she was. She thought maybe, okay, well, maybe he shot me in the shoulder or like something. Like, I don't know.
It had to have been a small caliber.
I think so. I think I do mention what caliber it was. So she never made it off the couch. So she had like turned to get off the couch, and that's when he had shot her.
Okay.
So she's like slumped over on the couch. Yeah.
Incidentally enough, also a red couch, just like the picture.
He sees her twitch a little bit, and he's like, okay, let me finish the job. So he picks up a pillow, and he holds it over her, and he shoots twice more.
Oh, Lord.
So at this point, she's been shot 4 times. The next 2 shots, I don't believe, were in her head. So he'd, like, lift up the pillow to, like, make sure she was, like, dead and everything like that between
Okay.
each shot.
Did those other shots, like, miss or something? Or
He, like, held the pillow, and he, like, just shot into her. So he was just like, oh, is she fucking dead yet? Okay, she's not moving.
Right. But at this point, she's taken 2 shots in the head, and he's holding the pillow over and shooting some more.
I don't know where the other 2 shots landed.
That's...
So,
okay.
but obviously it's point blank. They hit her.
Right.
And then this fucker just sits down in her living room and just starts playing computer games.
What?
Yeah, you just...
That's pretty goddamn casual for
Yeah.
someone that just murdered someone.
At this point, hours have passed. The fact that she hasn't bled out yet is insane.
Right.
Like, this happened midday. It's now dark out. And she's
still playing dead on the couch?
Yes, but at this point she said that she was having kind of hallucinations and everything like that of family and friends coming and talking to her, and at that point she's like, okay, I'm gonna die soon.
Right.
Then a neighbor knocks on the door because he heard noises and like hadn't seen Lonnie in a whole lot, because I think she was due to be somewhere.
Okay.
And dude that shot her leaves, talks to the neighbor, and at this point she's like, okay, he's out of the house. She fucking reaches for the phone and calls 911.
Well, if she succeeded, then that's all that counts.
Right, she did. And she quickly says that she's been shot, says her address, fucking hangs up, plays dead, puts the phone right back where it was, plays dead. Dude comes back in.
Oh, so
And
she managed to get that phone call out.
She got that call out fast, but of course, since she
911
hung
called
up,
back.
911 called back right when he walked back into the room. He picks up the phone, and she didn't know like what he had said, but I'm assuming that there was yelling because she was like kind of in and out of consciousness, but
Right. I'd imagine that sudden like
mhm.
reach for the phone probably didn't help too terribly
Right.
much.
And then she was like really confused why the police hadn't like come out to like save her and whatnot. But her concept of time was like really fucked up in this because of course she kept going in and out of
consciousness. Yeah.
And he starts trying to fucking gaslight the dispatcher,
Oh.
going, "Oh, we just had a minor fight. She's being over dramatic. Like everything's fine."
Did they believe it?
Mm-hmm. And then he tries to get her to talk on the phone. Of course, he's like,
He
bitch.
thinks she's dead.
Yeah, he thought she was fucking dead and like was
And he's
wondering how
trying to get her to
911
talk on the phone.
called. Yeah.
Okay.
But then she was just like, I'm gonna keep fucking playing dead because she thought that he was like fucking with her, trying to get her to talk on to 911.
Okay.
At this point, it was 4 hours since she had been first initially shot. The police said that
two headshots and still surviving, plus
Right.
countless other shots to who knows where, and
And then-
still surviving
right,
is
and
amazing.
and the police didn't fucking believe the dude's story, so obviously they're like, this is a hostage situation.
Right.
And they negotiated for 3 more hours trying to get him out. So at this point, 7 hours
Right.
of her bleeding out on this couch.
And he thinks she's dead,
Oh,
and everybody else is just like,
can confirm all 4 shots were in the head.
Oh, they were? You did write that down?
Mm-hmm. All
Okay.
4 shots were in the head.
So yeah,
4 fucking
miracle.
headshots. And at this point, she's like, I've waited fucking long enough. She fucking sits up and looks at this dude and goes, I'm not gonna make it. You need to let me go. Like, I don't
And
even
he's
want.
just like, oh god, because he thought he killed her.
Yeah. And he keeps talking on the phone. Like, she didn't just fucking sit up and say something to him. Because he's still on the phone negotiating with police.
She should have just yelled something like,
Mm-hmm.
help, I've been shot in the head 4 times, please get here, I'm dying, like, something.
Yeah. And then he just, like, kind of pauses, looks at her, and goes, fine, I'm just going to take my shirt off, put the gun down, and go outside. I don't know why the fuck he wanted to take off his shirt.
To show that he didn't have
Mhm.
anything else strapped to him.
Yeah. And then he goes outside, gets arrested. Officers enter the house, and they're like, oh, they were fucking expecting a dead person.
Mm.
And she's just sitting up, leaning on the couch, like, hi, officer.
I'm dying. Help?
Like, help.
So
3 bullets had entered her jaw.
okay, so that would have been a big part of her survival, is it
And
would have been
then-
more oral damage than
Mhm.
anything.
And then the 4th one had hit the back of her neck and, like, went and just kind of carried up the top. So it just kind of grazed the top. So nothing actually hit her brain, which the fact that he was able to miss all 4 times from just
At
getting
point
that kill
blank.
shot at point blank is fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I want to say that the first one probably would have been the one that grazed the back of her neck,
Mm-hmm.
and the second one was probably a jaw shot, and then she collapsed, and then the other ones would have been through the pillow, so the fact that they were all jaw shots after
Yeah.
that is a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
So who shot her?
Mike, her friend Michael, who took out so much money.
So, you know,
Yeah.
one of the things that they say, especially when it comes to, like, kidnapping stuff, is, like, it's usually someone that's close to
Mhm.
you that you know, and I guess in a way that's going to be the same thing with
Right.
not every, obviously, murder case, but some of the more obviously passionate ones like this.
Michael was sentenced for 35 years for the shooting. I think it was like 35 to life.
Yeah, I was going to say that better have been something to life, because
Mhm.
that's
I
attempted
mean,
murder.
yeah, it's attempted murder, and then they probably threw in a assault with a deadly weapon.
Right.
Lonnie made a completely full recovery.
Which is awesome.
No
Strong
troubles.
bitch.
She's a fucking trooper. She did say that when she locked eyes with the officer that came into the house to get her, she thought she actually did die and that was an angel
Yeah.
and all that. And she was like, no, she made a pretty full recovery.
I can be your hero,
baby.
baby.
And that's the story of Lonnie. What a fucking trooper. Like,
I'd say.
it's a miracle that she didn't get a brain shot, but even then, like, her jaw, the amount of reconstructive surgery that she probably had to get on her jaw
definitely.
alone.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, let's be real, like, roughly 80%
We'll
of
look up a picture of Lonnie for you.
roughly 80% of your head is your brain.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably not accurate, but like a large portion of your head is your brain. I feel like it would be harder to miss your brain than it would be to hit your brain.
The fact that one grazed, too, is kind of... He's just a bad fucking shot.
Yeah. Thankfully. So, Mike shot Lonnie. Now you know. And the details were kind of shocking in that
The fact that he just
so much.
He missed so much, and the fact that he's just like, I shot this bitch, I'm gonna go play fucking computer games. Well, I wonder what games he's fucking playing. I'm gonna go play fucking Minesweeper.
Right. Solitaire. But, I mean, it's awesome that she survived, but also, haha, you're bad at murder.
Oh, her full name is Lonnie Feather.
Lonnie Feather? That's an
Yeah.
adorable name.
She's an artist. Oh my god, I got her fucking business hours.
She's an artist now?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, check out her art. I mean, you never know. You
She
might
has a
find something you
website,
like.
LonnieFeather.com.
It takes an incredibly strong person to go through something like that and still see the beauty in the world.
Oh my goodness, she fucking drew her experience.
A very impressive recovery, and that's really awesome that she's able to find beauty in the world despite what happened to her. I don't know that I'd be so optimistic as she seems had I gone through the same situation. What is this face you're making?
Apparently, Mike was an ex-boyfriend.
Mike was an ex-boyfriend.
Happened in
Okay.
2001.
2001. All right, so that would have been still pretty
22
early
years
internet.
ago?
Yeah, it would have still been pretty early internet. You would have still been shitting in your pants.
Yeah. Yeah, it was her ex-boyfriend that she only knew for like 8 months at that point. And he took that much money out on her cards.
Wow.
Yeah, on October 3rd, 2001, my ex-boyfriend shot me, and we had known each other for 8 months, and for all appearances, he seemed like a decent guy. It still is hard to believe that even after 4 years have passed from when this article I'm reading
Mhm.
came out, that he didn't just shoot me, but he also assaulted me by choking me until I passed out. And then when I came to, that he shot me with, he also hit her over the top of the head with the butt of his gun.
Did you mention what?
I don't know what gun, but I'm assuming it's a handgun.
Okay, so you like pistol punched her.
Yeah.
Well, Lonnie Feather, you're a tough bitch. You'll probably.
One of them clipped the fucking top of her vertebrae in her neck.
Oh, dang.
See, I should have did more fucking research for you guys. I'm sorry.
She should have, but that's okay. 'Cause she'll make it up to us next week.
Yes, this one I did a really good one though. Didn't I?
Joke's on
She
you.
has really good art.
Joke's on you. I think next week was mine.
Yeah. Whenever you guys hear my next one.
So, we will see you guys next time.
Bye.